Today I've got something special for you. A topic that found its way to me through Reddit. It's a question that strikes at the core of our human experience. What can I do to be accepted by the society? But it's more than a question. It's a quest for belonging. And today we're embarking on that quest together. This question, my friends, is a window into the soul of our society. It taps into our innate need to be seen, heard, and accepted. It exposes the pain many of us grapple with, feelings of isolation, self-doubt, and the constant pursuit of validation. These are the battles that we face, and today we're about to uncover the silver lining in every cloud. So I stumbled upon this question on Reddit last week. I was actually trying to find out what can I actually shoot for this specific week, right? So I really couldn't find anything. Nothing actually came to my mind, right? And I was like, you know what? Instead of me just doing what I just want to do, how about I find things that I've went through and try and answer questions that people ask themselves, right? And you are then going to be noticing that throughout some of the content that we will be publishing on this podcast, right? So basically this question, it left me spellbound, right? Because the diversity of answers and the deep, heartfelt stories it unveiled were nothing short of remarkable. It was a moment of revelation, a sign that we needed to tackle these questions head on and explore it from every angle. You see, guys, life is a grand journey, and societal acceptance is a piece of that puzzle. Today, we're not just going to unravel the intricacies of fitting in. We're going to empower you to stand out. We're not just going to discuss the challenges. We're going to present you with the solutions. So before we dive in, I want you to know that podcasting with Simanye is not just a podcast. It's a lifeline. We're here to provide you with the insights, knowledge, and inspiration you need to navigate life's uncharted waters. Our mission is to be your compass, your guide, and your source of empowerment, because I've been through most things that most people have been through and most things that most people haven't been through, right? And I'm still working some of those journeys and I'm still figuring out most things, right? But I want to do that at the same time empowering most people, answering questions that some people ask themselves that I've been through also, right? So try and provide some value to people, because we need to do that as a society, right? So let's plunge into the depths of societal acceptance, guys. Exploring each facet of this intricate journey. We're going to traverse the landscape of authenticity, peer pressure, meaningful connections, empathy, handling criticism, diversity, and inclusion. Guys, listen to me. We'll leave no stone unturned on this episode. But I want to take a moment to share a personal story with you. A few years back, I found myself at crossroads. I grew up without a father, a man in my life, like other millions out there. Maybe some of you guys also have faced that kind of situation. I don't know, but maybe, right? But I didn't have anyone to tell me how, as a young boy, I should behave. Basically, in every way you can imagine, I was failing. And that made me insecure about myself to a point where when I was growing up, I started doing things to please people. Does that sound familiar to you right now? I always think about it. I always think about it. And in my mind, I'm like, you almost messed up your life, Joe. I always think about it. Friends, the streets, women, and people just in general saw the weak person that I was, because I was a weak person. Friends saw my weak side, made fun of that. On the streets, I didn't know how to behave. And when you don't know how to behave in the streets, when you grow up in the streets, people start to lose respect. Women, I loved women very fucking hard, man. What I thought about was basically the future. Basically, how I can actually tell you about myself is back then, years back, is basically that I was too much of a nice guy, way too much. I was just a weak person that I'm not shy to share, and that made me want to fit in with the crowd. And the moment that happens to you, you're bound to make mistakes. Mistakes that I made. I was this weak person. Here and there, the more I grew, actually, the more I learned to think like the streets. And there was a turning point. There was a turning point, guys, right? When I was 18, I still remember it very well. When I was 18, it was like a blow in my head, like a betrayal. That's not a poetry, guys, but so it was basically a turning. That there was just a turning point, basically, in my life, and everything just changed. It was a turning point that led me to ask the same questions that we're exploring today. So make sure you stick around till the end of this podcast, guys. Perhaps you found yourself at a similar crossroads. Maybe you've experienced those moments when societal norms clash with your own values, and you feel torn between conformity and authenticity. This is a story we've all lived in some way, and it's one that unites us in our quest for acceptance. So guys, basically the journey that I embarked on was one of self-discovery, and it transformed my life. Today I want to share those lessons with you to help you realize that societal acceptance isn't about changing who you are, but embracing your uniqueness and becoming the best version of yourself. So as we continue, we'll navigate the complexities of societal acceptance while addressing the pain you might be facing right now. We'll provide practical solutions, real-life examples, and in-depth insights. We're going to ensure that by the end of this episode, you'll not only understand the path to acceptance, but have the tools to walk it confidently. We'll explore the profound power of authenticity, the strength it gives you to stand out while fitting in. We'll dissect peer pressure, decode the psychology behind it, and equip you with strategies to rise above it. We'll unravel the insignificance of meaningful connections and the in-depth empathy in foresting societal acceptance. So basically, guys, in this segment, we're going to revisit that core motivation to empower you guys, right? Because this episode isn't just about dissecting societal acceptance, it's about giving you the wisdom, the inspiration, and the motivation to live a life that's truly your own life. And through all of this, I want you to remember that podcasting with Simanye is more than just a podcast, guys. It's your ally in the journey of life, because we're here to guide you, to inspire you, and to provide you with the tools you need to thrive in an ever-changing world, while at the same time teaching me a few things, right? Because as much as I am trying to teach you guys to share more on how I've lived basically and my experiences, but at the same time I believe that all of us have something that we need to teach each other. So I hope that throughout this journey that we are in currently right now of this podcast, we will all be doing the teaching. Yeah, right. So basically, so now guys, let's immerse ourselves in the profound exploration of societal acceptance, turning challenges into stepping stones and thriving for a life that's not just accepted but celebrated. So in our first segment, we're delving into the cornerstone of personal development, authenticity. We'll cover the true essence of authenticity and how it isn't the key to societal acceptance. It's the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Authenticity isn't just a state of being. It's a source of strength that transforms you into. Authenticity isn't just a state of being. It's a source of strength that transforms you into a magnetic force. So what exactly is authenticity? Authenticity isn't merely about being true to oneself, but it's about embracing your uniqueness, celebrating your quirks, and unearthing the core of your identity. It's not just a state of being. It's a conscious choice to be genuine and transparent in a world that often encourages conformity. Why is authenticity so powerful? Well, it's like a magnetic force that draws people towards you. When you're authentic, you exude a sense of self-assuredness and integrity that's both refreshing and compelling. Others are naturally drawn to those who are unapologetically themselves, guys. So, authenticity isn't a sign of weakness, as it is a source of strength. It's the courage to stand up and say, "This is who I am, flaws and all." It's the ability to embrace your imperfections and turn them into your unique assets. It's about realizing that societal acceptance begins with self-acceptance. When you choose authenticity, you're not just on the path to societal acceptance, you're on a journey to becoming the best version of yourself. Guys, listen to me. It's a transformation that starts from within and radiates outwards, impacting not just your own life but the lives of those around you. So as we embark on this exploration of societal acceptance, remember this: authenticity is your North Star. It's the guiding light that will lead you to a place of genuine acceptance, both within yourself and within society. So as we embark on a quest to unravel the complex tapestry of peer pressure and how to break free from its grasp, this phenomenon is like an invisible undercurrent in the river of our lives, steering our choices and actions, often without us even realizing it. So let's dive into the intricacies. Decoding peer pressure. That's the first part. So guys, peer pressure, as we've all experienced, is the gentle or not so gentle push to conform, to fit in and adopt behaviors or beliefs simply just because everyone else is doing it. Just because you want to fit in, guys. but understanding it is the first step toward liberation. It's like shining a light on the shadowy corners of our decision-making process. So think back to a time when you felt the pressure to do something that doesn't sit right with you. Maybe it was going along with a trend, making a choice that doesn't align with your values, or simply suppressing your true feelings. That was peer pressure at work. So now guys, what's the psychology behind it? So basically, peer pressure isn't just about bending external influences. It's deeply rooted into human psychology, guys. Because as you guys know, we're societal creatures, hand-wired to seek acceptance and belonging. The fear of rejection, the longing to be part of a group, and the desire for approval can actually make us more susceptible to peer pressure. So to understand this better, consider how our upbringing, culture, and society play a role. Because the norms and the expectations we encounter daily can shape our willingness to conform. So by understanding the psychology behind pressure, we can then begin to dismantle its power, which is something that cannot be done right now, but it is something that can be done, right? So guys, the third one, it's the strategies for breaking free from it. So now let's just tackle that question that has been burning in your minds, right? How do we break free from the clutches of peer pressure and maintaining our authenticity? Now guys, there's something that you need to realize. It's not a simple task, but it's an essential one for living an authentic life. One powerful strategy is to develop assertiveness skills. This means expressing your thoughts, feelings, and opinions confidently, even if they differ from the group's. Setting personal boundaries is another vital skill, as it's about knowing your limits and respecting yourself enough to say no when necessary. So guys, learning to say no is the key to maintaining your authenticity. Because most of us, when it comes to saying no, we tend to think twice, right? But sometimes you just need to remember that no is a complete sentence. And you just need to remember that it's not just about being confrontational, but it's about protecting your values and integrity. And if that's something that you want to protect, then no is important, guys. Because I remember this one time. I think when I was starting this podcast, I actually mentioned on my story that I was a person that would actually want to please everyone, right? And when you want to please everyone, you seem to forget that sentence, that one word. You just seem to forget it. No, because sometimes you just need to say no. And most of us, we think twice when we need to say it. So guys, the fourth one now, it's real life triumphs, right? So let's just discuss that, right? So real life stories they actually have a unique power to inspire and illuminate our own journeys, right? And as I've said, we're going to discuss that. We're going to share stories of individuals who defied societal norms and peer pressure to follow their unique paths, right? So by saying individuals, I simply mean that I am one person, but I am many people at the same time, right? So basically, guys, growing up, I've always had a dream. Like most of you guys have dreams, but when it comes to following your dreams, you think twice. You think twice when it comes to that. So I had a dream, you know. So basically, growing up, I remember I had this dream that I wanted to have a good life, right? How do I mean by a good life? I wanted to have 5 wives. I know, guys. I know, but 5 wives. I wanted to have 5 wives. And there was this one time I actually drew on a piece of paper my dream, right? Sometimes when it seems too good to be true, just write it down, guys. Just write it down. So I drew it. So on this piece of paper, it was a book actually, right? And I think I've told this story on one of my podcasts. But if you are new here, then you want to listen to this, right? So I drew on a piece of paper what I wanted basically in my life, right? So I drew on this piece of paper. It was actually a book. That was what I was actually about to say. It was a book. You see, in school, what happens is you would get, let's say, it's 7 subjects, right? And then in these 7 subjects, let's say you get extra books. So I got extra books, right? And I took this one book, and I was like, you know what? I was just the person that just like everything that I had in mind, I just wrote it down, right? So in this specific day, basically, I took my book and then I drew on that book something that just came to mind. And this thing had always been coming to my mind, but sometimes you just don't pay attention to some things. So I started paying attention to this thing, guys. Right? I was like, you know what? Let me just draw this, because in my mind, it was so good to be true, man. It was so good to be true. So I was like, you know what? Let me draw this thing. So I drew that there was me basically there, and I wasn't, of course, handsome and all of that, but I just had to draw something. Just had to draw something there, guys, right? So it was those people. You see those people. You draw the head, you draw the 2 eyes, the nose, and then the mouth, and then there's the sticks, right? The legs are sticks, and then the body is sticks. So there wasn't any meaty parts there. So I was still a child, guys. So you guys need to remember that part, right? So I drew myself there, and then I drew there were five wives, guys. The king, man. You feel me? So I drew the five wives. Um, I was in a huge farm, guys. Right? A huge farm. A huge farm. There was bodyguards all over the farm. When you entering the gate, there was it's something more of a house like. There were guards there. All over the property there were guards. Right? There was a tall tower which had guards, of course, there, so that they could scout everything that was coming from a mile away. So I was smart, yeah. So there were guards. I drew kids playing all over the property. Right now, you remember, guys, I said this is a huge property. This is a huge farm, right? So now on this farm, I had a helipad. I had a hangar, right? I had the place was full of cars, guys. Also, you need to remember that everything wasn't perfect, but it's the thought that counts, right? So I drew the cars. I'm sure you know how I drew those cars. Comrade. If you're listening to me now, I'm sure you have a picture of how I drew those cars. So I drew those cars. There were cars, huge property, a mansion, properties all over the property, basically, right? I had a studio there, right? I had a broadcasting building, basically, right? I drew the roads, and there were schools, there were orphanages that I drew. There were clinics, hospitals. There was Greenland. I know I said it wasn't the best drawing, but coming to think of it, that was a beautiful drawing, guys. Because I will share with you why I drew what I drew on that paper. A beautiful drawing, guys. A beautiful drawing. Now, on that paper, what I basically drew, there were orphanages, there were schools, there were clinics, there were hospitals, right? And what actually brought that to my mind, the reason why I had the farm, right? A huge farm. I was moneyed, guys. There was a reason behind that. And guys, there's something that we all need to realize, which is when you dream, when I dream, my sisters, they don't know what I've dreamed. My niece doesn't know what I've dreamed. My mom doesn't know what I've dreamed. I'm the only person that knows what I've dreamed. I'm the only person that knows my dreams. Right? Now, that was the life that I wanted. I wanted to build orphanages. I wanted people to become people, not see people lying in the streets, begging for food, just walking around the streets. Keeping on asking for money. I drew what I drew on that paper because that's the life that I wanted. I wanted to build that. That's what I wanted that's what I wanted my life to actually have, to entail, right? But my mind at the same time, I was really messed up because I wanted to please people, because I didn't have anything, basically, guys, right? I just wanted to be seen as that person. Crazy thought, but all of us, we want that. So I wasn't seen as that person, basically. So I then started messing up a lot because I wanted to be at that point, right? I did things, peer pressure kicked in. That's when I started drinking, started experimenting with things and all of that. But I wasn't doing drugs, right? But I experimented a lot and I did things just so that people could see me as that person. But I wasn't that person, So I was in school and I had the dream, guys. There was that dream that I had, that I was telling you about. That dream kept on coming. I always thought about it. Every time. That dream, I always thought about it. I always thought about that dream. Every single time. Right? I went to school and I was like, what I'm actually doing here will never get me closer to what I dreamt. I knew that there was something out there. I knew that. But I actually was around, or I was in a society, still am, but people that believe in, if you don't go to school and finish, go to university and finish and then get a job, you wouldn't be anything in life, right? And you don't have to blame people for that, because it's something that they've also been told to a point where it's stuck in their minds. But I knew that whatever that I had to do after finishing with school wouldn't get me to that life that I wanted. So as time went by, I started learning more about how to make money online. The more I learned about it, the more I then was like, I've found a way to actually make a success, to build something that would get me a step closer to that, build a legacy, something that I can leave, that will live on generations after me, But there was those societal norms, right, that were still there. And I took a decision to actually drop out, right? I took that decision, and it was a decision that I had to sit down and think about. And think about it. Thoroughly think about it. And I made that bold decision. I dropped out. And a year before I dropped out, I started running a business, right? A digital marketing agency. And at the same time, I came across the e-commerce space, right? Actually, the dropshipping e-commerce space, right? The fitness space. So I had these three piled up things. I had a digital marketing agency, I had a dropshipping store, had a fitness thingy on the side also, right? A year later, I was like, you know what? Nah, this is not it, man. I dropped out, right? Sometimes some things just need to be done, right? As much as the decision isn't easy, but some things they need to be done, right? Some things need to be done. The more you drag them, the more they will eat you up inside. Now, I always sit and think about what if I continued with everything that I was doing. How would my life have been? But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't be where I am right now. Because right now I'm happy as fuck. And I believe that I have everything that I need at this moment. Some of the things that I wanted that were in my dreams, I see them. Some have accomplished them. Some I see they are closer, but they just need me to keep on going in my journey. The same as you. The same as you. You need to do that also. Sometimes some decisions, they aren't easy, but you need to go ahead with them if they seem right to you. So now guys, we'll explore the profound significance. Relationships in all their forms are the threads that weave the intricate fabric of our lives. So as human beings, we are inherently social creatures. We thrive on connections with others, whether it's friendships, family bonds, romantic relationships, or even professional networks. These connections, they actually play a pivotal role in our well-being, as they provide us with support, a sense of belonging, and an opportunity for personal growth. Like for instance, think about the last time a friend, a family member, or a loved one offered you support, or simply a listening ear. These interactions are not just moments of connection, they are lifelines that can lift us during challenging times and celebrate our successes during joyous moments. And guys, as you know, our connections often serve as mirrors that reflect back on our own strengths, weaknesses, and aspirations. They can challenge us to grow and evolve. to become better versions of ourselves. In this sense, relationships are like the constant wind that shapes the contours of our lives. Through our connections, we create shared experiences and memories. These shared moments become the building block of our lives, shaping our identities and influencing our perspective. They're the stories we tell, the laughter we share, and the shoulder we lean on in times of sorrow. Ultimately, the significance of relationships lies in their power to fuel personal growth. So when we engage with others, we learn, adapt, and evolve. Our connections become the crucible in which we forge our identities and beliefs. In our quest for societal acceptance, it's just not about any connection. It's about the profound impact of meaningful relationships. Meaningful connections are the cornerstone of finding acceptance and a fulfilling life, guys. Meaningful relationships are those that are built on authenticity. This means being true to yourself and allowing others to do the same. It's about being open, honest, and vulnerable. Authentic connections are rooted in genuine conversations and shared experiences. They aren't about wearing masks, but embracing vulnerability and transparency. And one thing that you need to know about meaning relationships is that they are characterized by mutual respect. And this basically means that valuing each other's opinions, boundaries, and individuality. In such connections, there's a profound understanding that differences are not threats, but opportunities for growth. In meaningful relationships, shared values play a role. Shared values play a pivotal role. While differences can be celebrated, a common set of values creates a strong foundation. And these values can relate to ethics, beliefs, or life goals. So when individuals they actually share when they actually share core values, that actually strengthens the connection and provides a sense of purpose. I don't know if you guys actually have listened to me. I don't know if everything that I've said thus far you've heard it, but I hope you have. I really hope you have. But let me continue, right? So basically, guys, one thing that you need to know is that one of the hallmarks of meaningful relationships is the ability to provide emotional support. In such connections, individuals lift each other up in times of need, offer encouragement, and provide a safe space for expressing emotions. These relationships empower individuals to actually tackle challenges and setbacks with resilience, not providing a safe space for someone to express emotions and then go share those emotions to other people. That's not the way to go. That I just wanted to specify, because most people, they like that. You share with them something and then they go pass it through to the other person, which is not it. And so, guys, I think something that we need to also realize is that it's to basically discover your tribe, right? And by that, I simply mean your tribe, your community of like-minded individuals. You know, it's basically a fundamental component of actually finding societal acceptance. Because when you discover your tribe, you connect with people who resonate with your beliefs, values, and your interests, which is what you want in life. And now to actually find your tribe, you must first identify your core values and interest. What do you stand for? What are your passions? Your tribe will likely share these values and interests, making it easier to connect on a deeper level. Once you have a clear understanding of your values and interests, seek out communities and groups that align with those values and interests. And now this could be an in-person gathering, online forums, or even social events, right? Because when you engage with these communities, they will actually bring you a step closer to like-minded individuals. And as you interact with others who share your values and interests, you need to focus on building authentic connections, which simply means that you need to be yourself and allow others to do the same, because authenticity is the glue that holds your tribe together, right? And your tribe isn't just about what you can receive, but it's also about what you can contribute to it, right? So meaningful connections within your tribe are reciprocal. Now you can provide support, encouragement, and understanding just as you receive these in return. You know, it's not going to be a give, but it's a give take, you know. And also there's something that we also need to realize, which is building a resilient support system. And basically it's basically like having a safety net as you basically navigate life's challenges, right? It's basically about surrounding yourself with people who empower you to face setbacks and actually grow stronger than what you basically are at this specific moment, right? And the first thing when you are identifying your support system, because you need to first identify them. So the first thing is to identify the individuals in your life who form your support system. And now, guys, these can be close friends, family members, mentors, or even therapists. you just need to recognize those who provide emotional and practical support in your life. And for a support system to be truly resilient, it's important to set expectations and boundaries, right? And this simply just means that communicating your needs and understanding what kind of support you can provide in return, right? Because as I've said before, it's a two-way street. So when you found it, don't hesitate to lean on your support system when you face challenges, basically. So you can basically reach out when you need guidance, encouragement, or simply someone to listen. Your support system is there to lift you up in times of need. And a resilient support system not only helps you endure hardships, but also empowers you to grow. Because by facing challenges with the support of those who care about you, you become stronger and more equipped to handle future obstacles, right? And when you nurture those connections, you're not just building them, but you will be maintaining and strengthening them over time, as it is an ongoing process of growth and development, right? And now, effective communication is at the core of nurturing connections. And now this actually involves not only expressing yourself, but also actively listening to others. It's about understanding their perspective and emotions, right? And now to actually nurture your connections, it's important to check in with the individuals in your life regularly. Ask them how they're doing, what's new, and what you can do to support them. Regularly, you need to check in. You need to show that you care. And with your connections and with those individuals, you need to celebrate the achievements and milestones of those people in your networks. You need to recognize their successes, big or small, and express your happiness for them. This celebration fosters a positive and supportive environment. And then also there's one thing that you need to know, is that conflicts are a natural part of any relationship, and nurturing connections involves addressing conflicts with respect and understanding. It's about finding solutions and growing stronger as a result. Know about your experiences in life. You can please share that with us, as we are sharing ours with you guys. We are all here, a community. And also one thing that I want to ask you guys is that would you please rate us, right? Like this podcast from wherever you are listening to it. If you love or you liked what you listened to, or if it has helped you in any way, right? And follow us or subscribe wherever you're listening to it, because we want you to be part of this community. So now guys, we're going to explore the art of cultivating empathetic connections. And it's here where we'll delve into the steps and strategies to build connections that empower you to face life's challenges with resilience, of course. And the first step in building a resilient support system is identifying the individuals who make up your support network, right? And these could be close friends, it could be family members, mentors, or even professionals like therapists. Your support system actually forms the foundation upon which you will actually build your resilient network, right? And your resilient network and your resilient connections thrive when both parties have a clear understanding of expectations and boundaries, right? And what this simply means is that communicating openly about your needs and understanding what kind of support you can provide in return, right? Because guys, resilience is a two-way street, and it's crucial to remember that your support system is there for you, especially in challenging times. Maybe the people that you have in your life currently, they aren't there for you during those challenging times. You know, maybe they're not there for you when you face hardships, in moments of self-doubt. They're not there. You're not used to that. But the moment you do what we are actually telling you, you will then start leaning on these individuals when you face hardships, when you face significant life changes, or when you face moments of self-doubt. They will be your safe net, ready to catch you when you need it most, right? And now, resilient connections not only help you endure hardships, but empower you to grow. Because by facing challenges with the support of those who care about you, you become stronger and more equipped to handle future obstacles. So it's basically a journey of personal growth, and your support system plays a pivotal role in this transformative process, right? And now, a resilient support system is not just about receiving support. It's also about giving back. Because guys, the power of reciprocity is essential. It's about offering your support, guidance, and understanding in return. Because remember, just as you lean on your support network, they may lean on you in their times of need. And that you need to understand. Right? You need to understand that, guys. You need to understand that. It shouldn't be always about you, but you also need to start thinking about other people. Right? So guys, now we're going to dive into the art of handling criticism and judgment which is actually a crucial aspect of maintaining and strengthening your connections, right? And especially when societal acceptance is your goal. And you actually, the first step, it's embracing constructive criticism, right? Because criticism isn't always negative. It can actually be a valuable source of growth. Because when you encounter constructive criticism, it's essential to embrace it with an open mind. Because constructive feedback can help you improve and evolve. So listen attentively. Ask for clarification if needed. And then consider how you can apply it to your personal growth. Also, you need to filter out unhelpful criticism, because not all criticism is constructive. Sometimes people may offer unsolicited negative feedback. In such cases, it's crucial to actually learn how to filter out unhelpful criticism. Value whether the criticism is based on valid points or is driven by personal biases. Because not all opinions are worth your energy or consideration. And then also you need to maintain your self-confidence, right? Because handling criticism and judgment can be challenging, right? But it's essential to maintain your self-confidence. Remember your worth and the value of your authentic journey. Because self-confidence acts as a shield against the negative impact of unwanted criticism, guys. Because when faced with criticism or judgment, responding with grace is a powerful strategy. It's actually about maintaining your composure and responding thoughtfully rather than reacting emotionally. Graceful responses often disarm negative and can actually foster respectful communication. And also learning from judgment. Because while judgment can be hurtful, it can also be a source of self-discovery. So use judgment as an opportunity to learn more about yourself. Reflect on why the judgment affects you and what it reveals about your values and insecurities. And then building a supportive network, guys. Because maintaining and strengthening connections can be a powerful buffer against criticism and judgment. So a supportive network can actually provide you with the comfort, understanding, and validation when you face negativity. They will remind you that you're not alone in your journey and that there are those who appreciate your authenticity. Now, guys, you have a comprehensive understanding of how to handle criticism and judgment effectively. You are equipped with strategies to embrace constructive criticism, filter out unhelpful feedback, maintain self-confidence, respond with grace, learn from judgment, and build a supportive network. And these skills they are actually essential for nurturing and strengthening your connections on your path to societal acceptance and personal growth. Now, guys, we are then going to be exploring the transformative power of embracing diversity and inclusion. Because in our quest for societal acceptance, understanding the beauty of diversity and fostering inclusive connections is key. And diversity is a wellspring of strength because it encompasses a wide range of backgrounds, culture, beliefs, and experiences. Embracing diversity means recognizing the value that each unique individual brings to the table. It's actually about understanding that a diverse group can offer a wealth of perspective and ideas. And inclusion. Now, guys, let's talk about the importance of inclusion. And inclusion is the active process of involving everyone in your network, regardless of their differences. Because it's not just about having diverse connections. It's about ensuring that every voice is heard and respected. Because inclusive connections are ones where all individuals are encouraged to be themselves without fear of judgment, guys. That's the very same reason why you would actually be in those connections. So now others also need to be themselves. They need to be encouraged to be themselves without the fear of actually being judged, right? And now we need to actually break down stereotypes. And now stereotypes are barriers to both diversity and inclusion because they've preconceived notions based on limited information or misconceptions, right? And breaking down stereotypes, it's actually about challenging these assumptions and seeing people for who they truly are. It's actually a process of unlearning biases and embracing each person's unique story. And we actually need to encourage open dialogue, guys. And open dialogue is actually a tool for promoting diversity and inclusion. It's about creating spaces where you guys, your connections, or you as your individuals, it's where you guys can actually share your experiences and perspectives, right? It's actually through open dialogues we actually gain a deeper understanding of one another and build empathy. And also fostering an inclusive environment. That's something that we need to focus on. Because creating an inclusive environment in your connection is about setting the tone for acceptance. It's about encouraging open communications, valuing different viewpoints, and addressing discrimination when it arises. An inclusive environment is actually one where everyone feels safe, heard, and appreciated. And the value of inclusive connections is something that we need to talk about, because the inclusive connections are not just a noble goal. They are a source of inspiration and growth. They are doors to new perspectives challenge biases, and promote understanding. Now, embracing diversities and inclusion within your network enriches your own journey and contributes to a more inclusive society. But now you understand that embracing diversity and inclusion isn't just about the outside world. It starts within your connections, right? You'll see the strength in diversity, the importance of inclusion, the need to break down stereotypes, the power of open dialogues, and the value of fostering an inclusive environment. And these steps are vital in creating connections that are celebrated and support societal acceptance and personal growth. So guys, I want to ask you to share your stories either on the voice call link or on the comment section there. But just share your stories, guys. I really would like to hear your stories. Right? I would really like to hear your stories, guys. Now, welcome to the final part of our journey. We'll actually be discussing the art of embracing the unique path. It's actually the culmination of everything we've discussed so far, and it's the foundation for finding societal acceptance. And we actually need to start, when we are going to talk about that, we first need to talk about recognizing your uniqueness, right? And the first step in embracing your unique path is recognizing that you are indeed unique. You have your own set of experiences, values, and aspirations that set you apart from others. Your uniqueness is not something to hide or suppress. It's something to celebrate. We also need to talk about defying societal norms, because embracing your unique path often means defying societal norms and expectations. It means standing strong in your convictions, even when they go against the grain. Remember that societal norms are not universal truths. They are constructs that can limit personal growth and authenticity. We also need to talk about pursuing your passions, because your unique path is often tied to your passion. It's about pursuing what sets your soul on fire, regardless of whether it fits into traditional molds. Your passions are the compass that guides you toward a life that resonates with your values and your desires. We also need to talk about overcoming the fear of judgment, because a significant part of embracing your unique path is overcoming the fear of judgment. You might face criticism and negativity from those who don't believe or don't understand your choices. So it's essential to build the resilience to face this judgment with grace and self-confidence. And now we actually need to talk about connecting with like-minded individuals. Because while your path may be unique, you're not alone. There are like-minded individuals out there who share your values and dreams. Connect with them. They are your tribe. These connections provide support and a sense of belonging on your journey. We need to talk about the journey of authenticity, because embracing your unique path is, at its core, a journey to authenticity. because it's about being true to yourself, following your heart, and living in alignment with your values. It's a path that can actually lead you to personal growth, fulfillment, and ultimately societal acceptance. So, as we close this podcast, guys, I want you to remember that you're not alone in your quest for societal acceptance. It's a journey we all on, and by working together, we can create a more accepting and compassionate society. So, guys, I hope as we are ending this episode, you've learned something. And I hope you will share with us either on the voice call link or on the comments what you've learned from this episode. We would highly appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening to Podcasting with Simanye, and goodbye.